I dashed inside for a quick bathroom break 2 minutes. Tops in came back to a scene that made my blood run cold. A grown woman was in my backyard, screaming at my kids in our private pool, trying to yank them out like some self-appointed pool cop. My day went from calm to chaos in a heartbeat. My 2 kids, ages 7 and 9, were splashing happily in our backyard pool, kicking off summer with pure joy. But my neighbor, let's call her Vivian, decided it was her mission to trespass, berate them, and physically drag them out. At first, I thought there was an emergency. Nope. Vivian claimed my kids didn't look like they lived here and were invading her neighborhood. Spoiler, we've lived here longer than she has. When I confronted her, she doubled down, called 911, and demanded the police arrest the intruders. Plot twist, the cops didn't arrest my kids, they arrested her. This story spirals from outrageous to insane, and trust me, you'll want to hear how karma delivered a cannonball of justice. It was a sunny Saturday afternoon in June, perfect for outdoor fun. My kids had been cooped up with schoolwork all week, and our freshly filled pool was their summer reward. I stepped inside for a moment, literally 2 minutes. Kids being kids, their laughter and splashing echoed through the yard. But when I came back, the joyful scene had turned into a nightmare. Rounding the corner, I saw Vivian leaning over our wooden fence, face twisted in rage. My kids, oblivious, splashed in the pool. "We don't need your kind in this neighborhood," she screamed, pointing at them like they were criminals. My heart sank. She stormed toward the pool, looking ready for war. "What in the world is going on?" I shouted, hoping to defuse the madness. Vivian spun around, eyes blazing. "I'm calling the police. These kids don't belong here. They need to get out of my pool." "Your pool?" I retorted, stunned. "This is my backyard, and they're my kids." I'd dealt with bizarre situations, but this was surreal. She genuinely believed my children were a threat, just kids and floaties, living their best summer day. "Take them out. They're trespassing," she shrieked, inching closer to the pool. "They live here, Vivian. You know that." I fired back, incredulous. Unfazed by reason, she pulled out her phone and dialed 911. "Yes, I need you to handle these intruders. They're in my neighborhood, swimming in their pool," she said, like it was a crime ring. I was dumbfounded. How could someone be so ignorant and vicious? My kids looked confused, shivering in their floaties. I rushed to them. "Kids, stay there. Mommy's got this." Vivian ranted into the phone, escalating the situation. I took a deep breath, anger simmering, but knowing I had to stay calm. It was absurd that I had to defend my kids for swimming in their own pool. "Yes, send someone immediately. Unwanted kids in the neighborhood," she barked, her words dripping with venom. I stepped closer, firm. "You really think the cops will arrest my kids for swimming in their own pool? You're out of your mind." Vivian glared, eyes full of malice. "They're intruding, and I won't let them stay." My frustration boiled over. "You realize you're trespassing, right? You can't storm into my yard, bark orders, and make baseless claims." Sirens wailed in the distance. A police car pulled into our driveway. My heart raced, but I was ready. 2 officers stepped out. "Thank goodness you're here," I said, certain they'd see through Vivian's theatrics. "Ma'am, we got a call about kids in a pool," one officer said, flipping through his notepad. "Yes, my children are swimming in our private pool, right there in our fenced-off yard," I explained. "Mommy, I'm scared," my youngest cried, tears welling. I knelt beside him. "It's okay, buddy. These are the good guys." Vivian kept ranting, gesturing at my kids like they were felons. "They don't belong here. They look suspicious," she shrieked. The second officer raised an eyebrow. "Ma'am, are you saying these kids are acting inappropriately? They're just swimming. It doesn't matter." "They're trespassing," she shot back, logic completely lost on her. The officers exchanged a glance, clearly over the absurdity. "Ma'am, why did you call 911?" the first asked. "Because those kids don't belong in this neighborhood. They're not from around here, and I won't allow them in my area," she insisted, her tone laced with thinly veiled prejudice. The officer's demeanor shifted. "Ma'am, is this your yard?" they asked me. "Yes," I said, confidence growing. "We've lived here 3 years. These are my kids, enjoying our day." After a brief deliberation, one officer turned to Vivian. "You realize making false reports to the police is a serious offense, right?" he said, his tone firm. "But they're intruding," she countered weakly, her bravado fading. Ma'am, you're the one trespassing on private property without permission, the officer said. This isn't a crime scene, it's a family enjoying their day. We're going to have to ask you to leave. Vivian's fervor crumbled into shock. I'm calling my lawyer, she sputtered, face paling. Go ahead. Your lawyer can verify if you're allowed to disrupt private property, the officer replied. She didn't take kindly to losing control. You can't treat me like this. You have no idea who I am, she screeched. Then tell us who you are before we report you for false calls, the other officer countered, done with her antics. Given your behavior, leave now, or we'll escalate this. Vivian's confidence shattered. You'll regret this, she spat, retreating toward her house, face contorted in frustration. Are you all okay? One officer asked, kneeling to my kids' level. They nodded, still a bit shaken. Thanks for your help, I said, tension easing. No problem, ma'am. If she tries anything again, call us. You have every right to your space, he said with a smile. The officers left, and I breathed a sigh of relief. But karma wasn't done. The next day, my phone pinged with a notification. Vivian had called an emergency town hall meeting to complain about dangerous intruders and her rights as a property owner. The audacity. I decided to attend, ready to hear her nonsense and stand with my neighbors. The meeting was packed, many already aware of the truth. Vivian railed about feeling threatened by my kids, calling them rabble-rousers. But one by one, neighbors stood up, sharing their own stories of her harassment and overreach. When my turn came, I detailed the incident, how she trespassed, tried to assault my kids, and hid behind delusions of privilege. The crowd grew incensed, sharing tales of her racially charged encounters and self-righteous chaos. Ideas swirled. Maybe we should draft community guidelines on respecting property lines and resolving issues without escalation, one neighbor suggested. The room erupted in applause. I felt relief wash over me. We were united against her tyranny. Then came the ultimate irony. A neighbor called Vivian out. If you keep this up, you might find yourself on the receiving end of a neighborhood watch call. The room roared with triumphant laughter. Vivian stewed, her influence crumbling. After the meeting, neighbors and I brainstormed a neighborhood watch program to promote safety and inclusivity, not fear-mongering. Vivian's reputation sank, her power fading. The next summer, my kids dove back into the pool, splashing with joy. I wasn't surprised to see Vivian peering over her fence again, sizing things up. This time, I waved cheerfully. Hey, Vivian, we've got a pool party going. Want to join? For a moment, confusion flickered across her face, unsure how to handle the kindness. Then she rolled her eyes. Just don't let your kids scar the neighborhood, she muttered. It's their pool, Vivian, and our neighborhood. I shot back, triumphant. No longer on the defensive, I felt a rush of satisfaction. Karma had landed with a cannonball, and my kids splashed through their summer, carefree once more. So, to all the Vivians out there, when you try to disrupt a family's peace, your antics might just drown you in the chaos you fear. Good luck trespassing again, you'll need it.